The leaderboards. It's a ranking system to show the top players in a game. Being a leaderboards player, you're supposed to have more skill and experience than a regular player. But are some leaderboards players just as good as an average player? As a former leaderboards player, I wanted to explore if you really need skill to get top 10 in a game. I interviewed multiple people about their opinion about this, and analyzed their responses, as well as shared some of my thoughts. In this video, I'll be talking about why you don't need skill to get onto leaderboards, and how you yourself can get onto the leaderboards. And my friend Chr7st will be talking about why you do need skill to get onto leaderboards. So go check out his video about this too, right after you watch my video. He's a really small and underrated YouTuber, and I think he deserves some support. With that being said, enjoy the video. So I hit up Chr7st in June to ask him if he would like to do a video with me about the leaderboards, and he made a poll to see if it would be a popular video idea. After about 2 weeks, we decided to split the video into 2 parts, and interview some different people about their experience with the leaderboards. Then we asked 33 people about their opinions on this topic, including current leaderboards players, former leaderboards players, and people who aren't on the leaderboards. I'll share our findings from the 33 people later in this video, so stick around for that. Then I interviewed 7 different nethergames players for their opinions on this topic, both in VC and out of VC. I interviewed Pentakillion, Dturtles, GreennBoy, Zelidium, Itz Jalex, SmolShaq, and BamaBoy. I have 6 questions to them to try and understand more about their experience on the leaderboards. Let's see their answers. So, what leaderboards have you been on, and what was the highest rank you got on them?
Top 10.
I'm currently on the top 100 Bed Wars, and I was on top 10 Astral Deaths.
Number 4 on Bridge Leaderboard.
I've been on soccer, Hunger Games. Yeah, the one on the bridge.
I've been on Bridge Leaderboard, and the highest was first place.
When did you start playing nethergames, and around what time did you hit leaderboards?
I started grinding like early December for the bridge. I hit leaderboards maybe mid-January, I think, if I remember.
Near the end of October in 2020.
How much did you grind daily to get onto leaderboards?
Maybe like 2 hours a day. Doing that each week, I got like 500 wins, I would say.
I made myself a goal, pretty much 600 wins a week.
I used to play like around like 8 hours a day. It was like a full-time job. It was kind of, I had nothing besides Minecraft.
In the first few days, I played for like 2 to 3 hours, and yeah, and then I got 10th on leaderboard. I started playing like around like 10 hours a day when I was like going for first place.
Would you say that you need skill to get onto the leaderboards?
I wouldn't really consider myself very good. I mean, it definitely depends on game mode you're playing. Like, if you're playing Bed Wars, I feel like that would be a lot more skill. But like with the bridge, I just spam my right click button, and that generally works. I feel like some leaderboards definitely require more skill than others.
Well, there's always skill that's needed, but not very much. As long as you have very high CPS and good movement and like decent PvP, you're gonna get leaderboard, and as long as you have the time.
So my answer is, I guess, somewhat complex, but if you are someone who calls an average player skilled, then yes, leaderboards are skill-based. I personally don't, but that is something others can debate. An average player can get on leaderboards if they play enough games, but that's not to say that anyone at the leaderboards is the same skill as someone of like a level 50, because they aren't. But to get onto the leaderboards does not require a extremely skilled player. It just more so requires time.
No and yes. If you can drag click, let's consider a skill, I guess. But like, if you just play scenes like without doing anything else, then that's no skill at all. Not really. It just takes a lot of time. Like, if it ever gets more competitive. But like, for now, nah. It's pretty easy to get on.
Are leaderboards people typically good?
Yeah, they know about the game like more than people who play less.
If you think about almost all of them are PC players,
Yeah.
and they all have high CPS, and they all hate or almost all of them hate crossbows, which does tell a lot to me.
Yeah, I would say so. Like I said, they're not worse than like a level 50.
I have more trouble on the leaderboard players than I do pretty much on anybody else, because they know how to spam blocks. What could I say?
I mean, they do play a lot of it, and they have high wins compared to everyone. I mean, yeah, they're pretty good, of course.
How can someone that is not on leaderboards get onto leaderboards?
Good movement, decent PvP, high CPS, and like you can time.
And spend roughly like 3 to 4 hours each day if you want to get there somewhat fast. Cool.
Just do it for, I don't know, to have fun.
Hell of time, no life, become a Discord mod or something. I don't know.
Earlier in the video, I said that Chr7st and I together as 33 people, 11 leaderboards players, 11 former leaderboards players, and 11 non-leaderboards players about their opinion on this question. 16 players said that you need skill for the leaderboards, and 17 said that you didn't need skill. Had we interviewed a larger group of people, it might have been around 50-50. Out of all leaderboards players, 4 said that you didn't need skill for leaderboards, but 7 said you did need skill for it. However, 8 former leaderboards players said you did not need skill, and 3 former leaderboards players said you did. It's interesting to see the comparison between former leaderboards players and current leaderboards players, because it might show how the NG meta has changed, or how former leaderboards players might know more about the leaderboards than the current leaderboards players. With the people we asked who are not on leaderboards, it was about a pretty even response. 6 people said it needed skill, and 5 people said it didn't. This might show that non-leaderboards players think that getting to leaderboards is pretty hard or pretty easy. Overall, the players I interviewed suggested that you don't really need a lot of skill to get on to the leaderboards. And they said it was a lot more time-based rather than skill-based, because there are a lot of leaderboards players who have climbed leaderboards and don't really show skill. Another common trend I found while interviewing these players was that how players define skill was more subjective. Objectively, if you define an average player as skillful, then it does require skill, but subjectively, an average player is not that skillful to more prestigious players. I noticed everyone said that there will be basic skills needed, but it's not very skillful to have the basic skill, and therefore some of my interviewees said that you didn't require skill. Something pretty cool I actually want to share is from 𝘕𝘕𝘕𝑚𝑖𝑛𝑔𝑜's. He actually made a pretty neat chart to show the relationship between skill and time needed to get onto leaderboards, and I thought it's pretty cool, so here it is. As a former leaderboards player myself, I also would like to share my opinion about this. My opinion on skill is pretty subjective, but I define skill in games as having knowledge or mechanics that give you an advantage over other players, and utilizing your full deck of cards in order to win. For the bridge, I don't see spamming blocks as skill, even though it can be knowledge other people don't have. In bridge, utilizing your full hotbar, including the sword, bow, and arrow, pickaxe, blocks, and gapples, is more skill to me than someone who just focuses on the blocks. For other leaderboards, the question is a little different, but I do own a bridge guild, and I am a bridge main, so the question is more geared towards bridge. For other leaderboards, yes, you do need basic knowledge and skill to kill people, as those game modes are more PvP based, while the bridge is not.
お前ももう苦しまなくていい。
So do you really need skill in order to climb the leaderboards? I found that how a person defines skill is very subjective and varies depending on a person, which also means that depending on the person, you may or may not need skill to climb a leaderboard, but you do need basic knowledge about the game you are playing. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, make sure to comment about penguins. Penguins are very cool and they deserve a shout out. I really appreciate it that you stuck around until the end, as I worked really hard on this. So thanks. You should also watch 𝘠𝑻𝑠t's video if you haven't already. And goodbye. Thank you.